Pricing tip number 9, as Gino explains, is that you first must tenderize the home sellers through your knowledge and your wisdom before you get to the data. This is because if home sellers do not like the data, and many don't, and believe that you are connected to the data as an advocate for your research, then there is an expression for this. It's called being the bearer of bad news. There is also another saying for what happens when somebody becomes the bearer of bad news. It's called kill the messenger. Therefore, it is essential to first introduce knowledge, then data, because if you start with data, you may never get to a level of trust regarding your knowledge. Here's how our industry, in a conveyor belt process of dispassionate insensitivity, has been encouraging people to introduce data first by asking them to say the following. Folks, I went into my computer and I brought some market information to share with you. The first column here is homes on the market. The next one is days on the market. The next one is list to sales price. This next column here are homes that have been withdrawn. And this last column has to do with absorption rates. Now, what's wrong with this? Everything. Why? Because it belittles their home first and foremost by drawing comparisons. Let's remember that many agents themselves completely ignore the comparisons when it comes to their own home. And it also suggests that the computer is making the decision for us instead of we the principals.
Allan, I'd like to jump in here for a moment. You know, the CEO of Apple recently stated that he's not worried about machines thinking like people as much as people thinking like machines. Given the importance and sensitivity surrounding people's homes, I believe that when we are speaking with home sellers about the value of their property and the lifestyle and all that this emotionally involves, that this is the last time to think and sound like machines. Instead, we need to start off displaying sensitivity, knowledge, and a sense of collaboration. You may recall me saying at our last convention in San Antonio that while we will professionally rely upon artificial intelligence, that consumers are not artificially intelligent. Allan, please share with the network what a knowledge and a wisdom approach sounds like.
Folks, and by the way, when I say folks, that represents John and Mary or any other home sellers if there's two. Folks, I like to present home sellers like yourselves with 3 distinct pricing strategies. Strategy number 1 is where some of our home sellers select the data approach to pricing. They price their property based upon a CMA or an appraisal. They do this because they believe homes priced based upon the preponderance of data are more likely to appraise out and not offend the pricing sensibilities of buyers or buyer agents. Strategy number 2 is the less is more pricing strategy. This is where some home sellers want to price a little lower than the data would support to create competition, or because they have already bought another home, or they're selling not just for economic reasons, for lifestyle reasons, and they also think they may even create a little bit of a bidding war. Strategy number 3 is where some of our clients want to employ what we refer to as the retail pricing strategy. That is, they want to add a pricing cushion because they believe that many buyers are going to want to negotiate off the list price. So folks, which of these 3 strategies seem to make the most sense to you at this time? Now let me turn back to our network audience. What this knowledge-based approach does by first tenderizing the subject is that homeowners will now say, well, what are we talking about? What are the numbers? Now at this time, this is when you introduce the data because you have introduced your trust and knowledge first before the data. This is a true game changer. But we still need to introduce reality regarding price. But as we begin to do this, we have established our role as trusted real estate advisors. And please know that you will never have to price a property for 1 penny more because your recommendations never have to change. And the data that you use never has to change either. The only thing that changes is how you will now counsel your home sellers. That is again by introducing knowledge first and data last. Now let's hear from Gino on crafting the pricing conversation in pricing tip number 10 here in the next segment.